Hey, Wichita, we are back with another episode of Coffee Break.
Another episode.
I'm Officer Chad Ditch with the Public Information Unit. I'm here with my... Hey, bro, it's all of a Monday. We're back after the weekend. And
as we say.
I know, man. I know.
You're dressed up today.
I am dressed up, you know.
For our listeners, Chad's wearing a very flashy blue button-down dress shirt.
I took the tie off and rolled the sleeves up. That's my way of kind of dressing down today, but... This week, my wife and I said, hey, we want to set goals for the family because we wanted to start doing better, a couple of things here and there. Mm-hmm. So I said, we're going to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning with the kids, going to school. Yay. Get up, get some stuff going, get some cleaning stuff done in the house. Mm-hmm. And then I got out and I forgot my shirt.
Dang.
That's what happens when you change the routine of a cop.
Yep.
That's just what it does, man.
I was getting some decent sleep last night. I went to bed somewhat early, and then got a phone call 5 in the morning because I'm on call this week, and then I just took me out of my
just messed up
sleep.
your feng
messed
shui?
Up my mojo, man.
Yeah.
My mojo is all messed up on this Monday, but
man, you do anything? So a lot of football this weekend.
Yeah,
dude.
A lot of football,
and you are unfortunately a Raiders fan.
I am a Raiders fan. I didn't catch the game though.
Yeah, dude.
Unfortunately, it sounded like it was a decent game.
Yeah, and I told you about it earlier, right? How they fumbled the ball and the guy returned it for a touchdown in overtime to win the game. But what I didn't tell you was, because I didn't catch it until afterwards, is he almost, like, I'm talking like millisecond. Some people even say, or millistep. Some people even say that maybe he did, but the guy let go of the football as he's crossing into the end zone.
Oh.
So it appears that he dropped it before he even scored.
Wow.
Which is bringing up a little bit of controversy. I never understood that with people, man. Like, get the ball all the way across the end zone. Yeah. Spike it, do whatever you want.
Just make sure you scored the dang touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been so frustrated by many plays over the course of football that I've watched where...
Well, you're a Raiders fan. You got to get it.
No, yeah, I'm super frustrated about that. I mean, don't get me wrong. But, they start getting cocky.
Yeah.
Like, you see these guys, they're about to score, and they start getting cocky, and then a flag comes out or something. It's like, yeah, you messed up. You didn't actually score.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are you doing?
Right.
Like, you get paid to be a professional football player.
Yeah.
You're supposed to know exactly how this game works, how to score, how to do everything, and then how to celebrate afterwards.
Yeah.
So don't mess that up.
Yeah.
Just makes you look bad.
The Miami Dolphins have a receiver, Jalen Waddle. He's super, super fast. Really great wide receiver. He's tagged up there, obviously, with Tyreek Hill. Mm-hmm. But Waddle has this dance where he dances like a penguin afterwards. So he waddles.
He waddles.
Dude, it's pretty.
The waddle.
It is. The waddle. So,
I like that.
What else you do this weekend, man?
I was on call, so I didn't really go anywhere.
Yeah.
I had some work done on my house yesterday.
Okay.
I had some guttering replaced.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, so it's good to finally get that taken care of. Just hung around the house though, played Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Checked out some of the new Call of Duty footage coming out next month.
You excited?
I am excited. I love Call of Duty.
Some exciting news. Speaking of exciting news, they announced our new
interim
chief.
Yes.
So he's our previous deputy chief.
Deputy Chief Troy Livingston, who left us to go to the Kansas Law Enforcement Training Center, where he's been since I think 2019.
Yeah,
when he
left
the department. So that's interesting development.
Right.
So
always liked him.
See. Yeah, he did my. He was one of the people on my command staff interview when I got hired.
Okay.
And yeah, he's a cool dude.
Yeah.
I remember interviewing him too back in the day when I was a news media person.
Yeah.
I was out at this scene. It was South Broadway somewhere. There was a shooting or something. And I was out there. It's freezing cold, middle of the night. I was the on-call photographer. So I went out there, and I was expecting to get a sergeant or something to come do the briefing.
Yeah.
And then Deputy Chief Livingston walks up.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, oh, what are you doing out here? And he's like, I couldn't sleep, so I came out.
There you go.
So he did the interview. So
he's always in tune and always knows what's going on.
Yep.
That's
cool
awesome.
Dude, so.
I'm excited. So he'll be here next week. I think he starts. So we'll have to see if we can get him on the books and get him interviewed.
Get him on the podcast.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope, man. I'm ready for this weather to change because it's very Kansas-like lately. And yesterday it was 100 degrees outside.
Yeah.
And I live downtown, so the wind was just like I was in a dryer.
And your air conditioner's been out.
Oh my God, bro! Yes,
right?
Thank you. Yeah, all last week, the entire apartment complex. Sorry, I'm coming with passion today.
I would be,
dude. And it's like,
That's
you're
rough.
at work and you got AC and everything like that. And my wife's at work, kids are at school, but man, we come home and we had like 6 fans going on. Now my apartment complex, bless the hearts, they gave everybody box fans to help out. And stuff.
That's nice, yeah.
But yeah, bro, it was rough. Like I grew up like that, where AC would go out all the time and everything. So like I knew how to survive that. It wasn't something that was unlivable, but yeah, it made cooking not feasible.
So yeah, you mentioned the growing up thing. So I lived small town, and my bedroom in middle school, high school, everything was on the second floor, which was an addition to our bungalow. So it didn't have like any central air or anything.
And heat rises.
Yeah, dude. So it was the hottest room in the house, and I had a little window unit that just like powered. Yeah, it was constantly going, but I felt bad. I didn't want to raise the electricity bill too much, so like I'd have to limit how much I ran that thing. Yeah. And then window units are frustrating. They're great, but they're frustrating because you get the condensation too. Yes. And if you don't have the window unit leveled right, it'll like run into the room, and then I'd get these little puddles on the floor, and I had to figure that out. And then the wintertime, it was cold, super cold in the room, so I'd have to like move the window unit out of the window so I could shut the window. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm getting all this cold air in.
Dude, I remember
flashbacks now.
So we had the big metal window unit growing up, right? Yeah. Big heavy thing. And then I don't know what it was. I'm assuming it's a transition, or maybe we were just finally able to afford one, or maybe they were. I don't know. But they made these like super light portable ones that had like these accordion style things that would fill up the window.
Yeah, that's what I had.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's the little plastic thing that you like. Yeah,
bro. Those my dad would like, hey, pull that out, and it was when we had that, I was like, this is awesome. This is so much lighter. But just my little tidbit.
I was always worried when I was taking it out that I was gonna open the window and it was just gonna fall outside. So,
man, and then so Juan had a really busy weekend.
Yeah,
I was out. Yeah, I was out there, and Sergeant Justice
was out at Latin Fest.
Yes,
I saw some photos of him.
Bro, he showed out. That the Latin Fest itself was so big.
There's a lot of people out there.
A lot of people, man. A lot of people came up, grabbed some cool WPD merch. I guess we can call it.
Did we get rid of all the merch?
I don't know. That's a good point. I didn't ask Juan about that.
Ask Juan if it all, because people were snagging flashlights and and pens. And
even the card, the WPD keychain that's got the car on it and everything like that. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, I like that stuff.
But I remember I was standing out there. I was talking to Juan, and then everybody was just like grabbing pictures with Sergeant Justice. Then nobody wanted pictures with me and Juan. It was all
Sergeant
about
Justice is, man.
Yeah,
he's the guy.
Yeah,
we need to get him on the podcast. I know we've talked about that before.
Yeah, and then we got to go to K-State last week.
Yeah, we did. We did a presentation out there for the Kansas PIO conference.
Yep.
Talking about TikTok.
Yes.
So make sure you follow Wichita Police Department on TikTok at Wichita Police Department.
Yeah.
Right.
And comment with your favorite. What's been your favorite one so far?
TikTok.
We've had the TikTok for just over a year or just under a year, one of the two.
I think under a year.
But it's really taken off since like pretty much since Charlie left.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Paul. Yeah. So I mean, that's when I attribute to Charlie and Paul bounced and TikTok took off.
Is Charlie gonna be on the podcast?
I don't know, man. I tried calling him today and it just didn't answer. I'm pretty sure he's busy detecting.
He probably blocked you.
I'm sure that's what it was. So, but speaking of Charlie is a gang felony assault detective.
Yeah, we got his boss.
Took his boss, yes.
We get his boss on here.
Yep. So Sergeant Aaron Moses, he's been on the department, I think, about 10 years. Mm-hmm. So he'll be with us today talking about everything he's doing and where he's been on the department. I'm excited.
Yeah. Well, let's get a refill and get him on.
Let's do it. And we are back with Sergeant Aaron Moses.
Hello.
How you doing, man?
I'm great. How are you?
We're good, man. We know you're busy, so we appreciate you coming out here.
Absolutely.
So,
have you seen the podcast before?
Yes, I've seen the podcast.
Okay. What are your thoughts?
I think it's good. You guys need to maintain more of like a steady image, though. I mean, you're awfully dressed up today.
I know, right? Yeah.
It's usually a little more casual.
I normally am in the
He's
t-shirt.
usually more casual. I
Yeah.
just don't like having to bring a change of
I
clothes.
think Trevor has like a
work.
button-down pajama outfit that he wears
think
that looks
so?
like a business suit.
I bet so. Probably silk.
How do you know? How do you know that?
Yeah. But yeah, man. So like you've seen it. So we want the community to get to know the people,
Absolutely.
right? Not just know who the officer is and just see the uniform and stuff. So tell us who's Aaron Moses.
I am a Wichita native, born and
Okay.
raised here. Went to public schools here in Wichita. Love this community.
Mhm.
I am a father
Okay.
and I'm a husband,
Okay.
and that's very important to me.
Obviously.
I've been a police officer for about 10 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Just at 10 years, I just had my 10th anniversary.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, congrats.
Thank you. I was a musical theater kid growing up.
Okay.
Really?
That was my thing.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Same.
I won a
Wow.
Jester Award in high school.
Did you?
Yeah.
What musicals did you do?
Oh, all kinds. Like
What-
that's just.
Do you have a favorite?
My favorite acting experience was not a musical. It was
Okay.
To Kill a Mockingbird.
Oh.
It's a good one.
So like High School Musical type stuff, like that's what you just in.
Yeah, I was
in
never
the
in
gym?
High School Musical,
Yeah,
but yeah, I was a musical theater kid growing up, and
that's neat.
it really developed a sense of who I was and an
Mhm.
appreciation for all different kinds of people.
Did you
Yeah.
do like Music Theater Wichita or?
I never did MTW. I did Crown Uptown
Okay.
once, and then Wichita Children's Theater is
Okay.
where I spent a lot of my time.
What's your vocal range? Are you like a tenor? Or
You know, I don't even know anymore.
no?
Whatever, I show up.
Baritone.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
Show up and show
karaoke, you're
out.
good. You're like I'm down.
You know, I don't do a lot of karaoke, but I
Really?
could.
You're right.
My wife would probably disagree. I think I do karaoke in the car. Probably.
Right, yeah.
Carpool karaoke.
You have to do carpool karaoke.
My 2-year-old tells me to stop. So
Right. So
What
did
happened?
did that help you with being a police officer and talking to people?
it certainly made me more comfortable as far as interacting with all kinds
Yeah.
of people.
Mhm.
There are times where I feel like as police officers we have to put on a little bit of an act and
Yeah.
and focus on the task at hand when there may
Right.
be emotions involved
Mhm.
or like a high stress situation. I think it's helped me with that,
Yeah.
and just thinking quickly
Yeah.
and coming up with solutions to problems,
Yeah.
and maybe coming up with reactions to unforeseen situations.
Yeah. Playing in
Jazz
the head.
hands can help a lot too with just like
That's right.
distracting.
Distractions.
People. Jazz
Yep.
hands. Throw out
Mhm.
some
Just
jazz
random
hands.
jazz hands.
Yeah. You
Like,
when
hey,
these
hey, you're
jazz
getting ready to
hands
go
on
to
a car stop. It's like whoa.
Oh no.
You get mesmerized.
You've stopped the car?
Yes, Chad.
I actually, not too long ago, he was on a car accident that I worked as a field supervisor.
Yeah.
I remember that. Right? He rolled up on it, right?
He did.
On his
It
as
happened
a-
right in front of
he
me.
did.
It's like
Right?
somebody T-boned somebody else and
Ouch.
flipped
Thankfully,
over.
everyone was okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
Nobody
yeah,
was
yeah.
hurt.
yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Man. So 10 years, man. That's a long time, you know?
It doesn't feel like it.
Right?
Time flies, that's for sure.
So where have you been in the department?
So when I first hired on, I went to Patrol East 4th Watch.
Okay.
That's where I spent most of my time on patrol as an officer. I worked sort of 2 different areas. At first, I worked sort of like Lincoln and Woodlawn area,
Yeah.
and then like 13th and Oliver area
Okay.
for most of my time on patrol. And then I was a first shift patrol officer out east for a year and a half, 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then I promoted to detective, and I was a detective in the gang felony assault section
Okay.
for about a year. And then I worked in our domestic violence sex crime section for about 6 months.
Okay.
And then I promoted to sergeant, which I am currently a sergeant. I went back out to Patrol East 4th Watch
We're back home.
for a couple of years. Yeah, back home.
Yeah.
And then I was down at Patrol South on second shift, so during the day, for about a couple months. And then I came to the position I'm in now.
Okay. Okay. And what's been your favorite out of all of them?
You know, they're all different.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I love patrol work.
Yeah.
I never was in like a specialty unit. I was never in community policing
Mm-hmm.
or CRT or anything like that.
Yeah.
I was a patrol guy.
Yeah.
I love police patrol work.
Mm-hmm.
I say all the time, our primary responsibility is to show up when people call for help,
Yeah.
and I love doing that.
Right.
So patrol is really what I enjoy the most. It
Mhm.
also, I think, my brain works that way. Like
Right.
it's constantly changing. I'm constantly doing a new task.
Yeah.
And I think that my brain works really well that way.
Yeah.
So patrol is definitely my favorite, but it's also where I'm the most comfortable.
I got you.
So I'm learning a lot in my new position where I'm at now.
So like being patrol, that was one thing that I really enjoyed as well, especially night times, right? Did you have a specific setup in your car, like with the way your bag had to be
Oh, yeah.
or equipment? Can
Yep.
you tell us a little bit about that, maybe for even our recruits that are watching this right now?
Well, so it changed over time. At
Mhm.
first, they gave us this like large, I wouldn't even call it a duffel bag. What would you call those bags? You know, the
Duty
big
bag.
Oh,
Yeah, the duty bags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a big square.
Yeah,
That
right.
was
like a rectangle.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
actually
little
had this discussion, not to get sidetracked.
No,
but we
you're
had
good.
this discussion in my unit this morning about how all squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that.
Right?
Yeah,
And not
that
all
is
cops
so
are
confusing.
squares
And
either,
apparently,
contrary to popular belief,
Not all what?
not all cops are squares either.
That's
but
true.
a lot of people
Yeah.
assume that.
No, most of us are circles.
well, that was apparently too deep of a conversation at 8 o'clock this morning for the detectives who work for me. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. But anyway, that rectangle duty bag, that's what I had in my front passenger seat initially. But then I had a couple extra bags with like fingerprint kits and stuff, and the extra paperwork, which we don't have anymore.
Right.
Now that we're paperless.
You know what I thought was real cool when whoever invented it needs to have like donuts for life. But when they invented the patrol bag where it would lift and connect behind your seat, is that what you have?
Yeah, I still have it in my trunk.
I don't think I have one of those.
No,
does it have like pouches and stuff?
Yeah, it's got like Molly gear and stuff on top of it. Yeah,
it's awesome.
It's pretty dope.
Well, they have that duty bag, but the one I have is like thinner.
Oh, okay.
And it just has like a couple of my clipboards, space for my like reflective vest. And then very importantly, one of the spots on the side fits a Quick Trip extra large.
Perfect.
There you
fountain
go.
drink.
Yeah. There you go.
You know you've been a cop for a long time when you've mastered cutting the straw on the Quick Trip cup because your elbow will hit it during the shift. And man, breaking a straw is just like
it's the worst.
It's a horrible part of your day.
There's a lot of like Quick Trip hacks that officers do. Do you have like a favorite Quick Trip hack?
I don't know that I do. One of my favorite sergeants used to carry around like a stack of straws and chew on them.
Oh.
Yeah, I've seen that. A lot of people, like my dad did that when he quit chewing tobacco. He would chew on a lot of straws. He actually, this is a fun story. My dad may not appreciate it, but his nose was really clogged up one time, and he put a straw up there, and it helped him breathe. And he was like, "This is pretty cool." He was a truck driver, and then he like cut it short, and then while he's driving, he had like a sniffle, so he and it went up.
That's not good.
Nose. He had to go to the doctor and get a straw removed. He's like 40-some years old. He's at the doctor.
I dread the day that my kid gets a pee in his nose.
Oh man,
hasn't happened yet.
You know, like I remember
They'll sprout.
You know, that was
seriously. My friend in like 3rd grade, he stuck a bean in his nose and it sprouted.
How long was it up there?
Oh, a while.
No joke.
Yeah.
You know, like kids would, swallow like a coin or something like that, or a quarter or something like that. I saw a comedian one day. I was like, man, you're good. They're fine if they swallow a quarter, but if they poop out 2 dimes and a nickel, then you need to worry. Like, I was like, that's valid. But you talked about difficult conversations or too deep of conversations. So I saw this on TikTok, and I've asked Trevor this before. But do you eat soup or drink soup?
No, you eat soup.
But what happened?
Wait.
What if it's
soup though?
But what if it's tomato soup?
I think you still eat it.
Okay, so then let's switch it.
Does eating require chewing? I guess is the question.
But you're not chewing tomato soup.
Well, that's the question. Is does eating require chewing?
I mean, that's very valid.
That's the philosophical question. That's the bottom line question. I think.
So you drink water, it goes to the same place as your food goes. It's not like there's a separate tube.
So what makes you drink water as opposed to eat it?
Because you're not.
See.
If I put water in a bowl and tell you,
it.
if I put water, is it because it's in a glass or a cup?
What about people who are on a liquid diet?
Are
they eating or are they chewing? Or are they drinking?
Yeah,
I don't know. We gotta get a biologist on here.
Right.
I don't know if do you have to digest water, or does your stomach really do anything to it other than just like absorb it?
Cereal. You get done with your cereal, right? You still have the milk. You drinking the milk or you eating it?
I drink the milk.
Might be a controversial thing I'm about to say.
Okay.
But I'm a dry cereal guy.
Well, hold on.
Wait,
you just
what?
Yeah.
No milk at all.
I do not enjoy.
You still put it in a bowl?
Dairy. I do not enjoy milk.
Oh.
Yeah, I put it in a bowl. Sometimes I'll put it in like a Ziploc bag.
And you just eat it with your hands?
Mm-hmm.
See, I can see that.
I can see that. But like, do you ever eat it just dry out of a bowl with a spoon?
Because your kid is under 5, right? Or
he's 2.5.
Okay, so you get to the table, and then it's like cereal time.
Well, the good thing is my kid doesn't like breakfast.
Oh, okay.
So I don't have to have that.
That would be the awkward, right? He's pouring the milk, and you're like, I'm just gonna have this dry cereal.
I don't like milk in cereal.
What cereal do you eat dry?
I'm not picky. Okay. Anything.
So like even like frosted shredded mini wheat, you're eating that dry. That's too dry. My mouth would dry up. I'd be like having chapped lips for weeks after that.
Right. Well, so you've seen the podcast, and I really do appreciate that you watch it, man. It means a lot that the work that we're putting in and being able to interview people and stuff, that people are liking it and appreciating it. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
We play a game. called One Has to Go.
Mm-hmm.
Today is National Talk Like a Pirate Day.
Interesting.
It's very interesting. So our One Has to Go is involving 4 pirate movies or pirate-esque type movies, okay?
Okay.
I like that
You got
graphic.
Goonies.
Gosh, I'm the wrong guy for this.
Really?
I'm not a movie guy either.
What?
I know.
Okay,
Don't
so
talk about Star Wars.
right. Yeah.
Wait, you've never
Don't
seen
go
Star
there.
Wars?
I've seen it a long time ago.
See?
In a galaxy far away.
Yeah. So we got Goonies, Pirates of the Caribbean, Captain Phillips, and Hook. One of them got to go away forever. Never should have been made.
Well, I don't know that you should say it should never been made.
Okay, gotta go.
That seems drastic.
It is.
So
I'm
it's just
going
disappearing from
Yeah.
your
your
existence.
existence.
Well, I would say Goonies probably.
What?
Yeah,
Wow,
I
bold
know.
choice.
That's like
Bold
the
choice.
OG, triple OG.
that's
That
how
is classic.
that's what I'm going with.
Really?
getting rid of
Why are you getting
Goonies?
rid of Goonies?
Because I've never seen it.
What?
Oh
what?
my gosh!
I'm not a movie guy. I'm not a
that's
movie
okay.
guy.
That's okay.
Like when you were doing your high school musical stuff,
Mm-hmm.
nobody ever wanted to like remake Goonies. I guess there's no music in Goonies,
Yeah,
but
there's no
still.
it's not a musical.
High school musical stuff. I'm just going back to that.
My bad. Man,
What are you
Goonies.
getting rid of?
I've never seen Captain Phillips, but I
It's a
really
good
do
one.
want. Yeah,
That's a very good.
it
movie.
looks like a really good one.
I
just
think you
never.
would like it.
I think I would too,
Yeah.
especially
I think
like
you'd walk
you're the
around the
captain now.
office.
I've seen that
I'm the
quote.
captain
Yeah.
now.
I
Yeah,
think you'd walk around the office saying that's Trevor.
I probably would. But I think Pirates of the Caribbean. Like I watched 1 or 2, and I was like, okay, this is. But it was just too much.
Well, you can't get rid of that now because Johnny Depp, because of all the
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
drama.
Right.
And I'm not going to take sides.
Like,
Right.
I'm not going
as
to take sides, but that was
Johnny Depp was pretty popular before those movies came out, but those movies just kind of like skyrocketed
Mm-hmm.
his popularity. Like Jack Sparrow is like the quintessential pirate character.
well, people
so
still dress up as Jack Sparrow
Yeah.
for Halloween.
you can't.
That's true.
I'd get rid of Captain Phillips.
Did you notice
Yeah.
that they decorated for Halloween already in the lobby?
No, I didn't.
I did
realize
notice that.
Pumpkins are up.
So that
Really?
brings me to a question: how early is too early to decorate for Halloween or fall?
So my wife and I were talking about that this weekend. I think it changes.
Mhm.
I think it has a lot to do with the atmosphere.
Uh-huh.
And like it was 100 degrees yesterday.
Oh yeah, it was disrespectfully hot outside.
It was awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it has to do with the weather outside.
Okay.
But when does that shift? Because we had a day a couple weeks ago where it was like 60 degrees
Like when it's
out. It was
consistently
like, yeah,
Like it's
consistently
hoodie and
cool.
shorts
Right.
weather. We can see. I don't even. To me, it's not about the Halloween decoration part. But my wife, I think right now she would probably decorate for Christmas if she could. If
See,
I
I'm,
was
I'm
like,
not
hey,
about that.
let's pump the
Like,
brakes.
I don't want any Christmas lights or Christmas trees till after Thanksgiving at the earliest.
Right, yeah.
Like,
No.
you
Ours-
gotta let Thanksgiving have its time in
the last 2
spotlight.
years, ours after Halloween, trees coming up.
That's too early.
Yeah.
well, it's been a rough couple of years. So maybe it just makes people feel
I mean,
light
that's true.
and happy.
That's true. My wife loves Christmas lights, so that's just her thing. She's a not Christmas baby, but she's like a couple days before Christmas. That's her
My
birthday.
mom was born the day after Christmas.
Really?
She hates it. Well,
See,
I don't think she
that's-
hates it, but she said that growing up, she got a Christmas present and a birthday present.
That's what my
It's the
wife
same.
has. I cannot give. My wife and I have been together 17 years, and I cannot to this day give her a birthday present in Christmas wrapping paper.
How about this? My wife, we got married, and my birthday and Father's Day are all within the same week.
Oh,
Ooh, that's a lot.
She
right.
played the long game on that one.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
did. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
3
is
birds with one stone. Man.
right. Yeah,
Mhm.
no joke.
That's
it's true.
That's a good strat.
Well, man, we appreciate you being here. We know you're super busy. And again, thanks for being on the podcast.
Absolutely.
And this has like been one of my entertaining. I like Sarge or Aaron or
You can
How-
call me whatever.
yeah,
I respond to
Sir.
many names.
right.
Not that one.
Why?
I don't like sir.
But it's you're supposed to call your superiors sir, aren't you?
I guess.
Mm-hmm. And you,
I prefer like earned respect rather than
Yeah.
positional.
you know it.
I think it's a generational thing.
I
I'm
can
only
That's true.
I'm only 31,
Yeah.
so
Right.
I'm pretty young for
Are you?
being a supervisor.
Yeah. Are you the youngest sergeant we have? Or
I think by age, yes.
interesting?
By seniority on the department, no.
See, and
There's
I was
one that's junior to me.
I was going to ask that too. Is like because you've been 10 years and a sergeant, you kind of came up through the ranks pretty. I don't know, quickly. Quickly would be kind of a word, maybe not super quick. But
Yeah, so there's other people who have promoted around the same time I have.
yeah,
Deputy Chief Duff.
Yeah.
Kind of had the same.
I think Slaughter too.
Slaughter, Lieutenant Gilmore,
Yeah,
our new interim chief.
Yeah.
To be Deputy Chief, previously Deputy Chief Livingston.
yeah,
So it's not unheard of.
right.
I did about 6.5, 7 years on patrol.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do very much time as a detective. I think that's where I sort of shortened that gap.
Yeah.
But yeah, 31. I think I am the youngest by age sergeant.
So what's that been like for you, or what's some advice you have for officers that are on that are teetering, whether they want to promote and everything like that? So is there stuff that you missed, or you're glad you've done what you've done so far? Or?
So I say to people a lot, because I get asked this question a lot.
Right.
I say don't leave until you're ready, because
Mm-hmm.
you can never go back.
Right.
But there's also like for me anyway, this profound sense of like doing something bigger or fulfilling my true like potential,
Right.
and ownership.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you see that a lot across a lot of different industries, but especially in ours.
Mm-hmm.
Policing is certainly, I think, in a time of transition.
Yeah.
And it's going to take a lot of people taking ownership over the future of law enforcement and policing, to sort of steer that direction.
Yeah.
And so I see a lot of younger people in our department promoting now, and I think that's really exciting.
Heck yeah.
That there's this sort of number one, people are going to continue to retire.
Yeah.
And so we need a new generation to come in and take those seats.
Yeah.
And it takes people being willing to take that responsibility and ownership.
Yeah.
So I enjoy seeing people like you guys doing this, because I think that's ownership.
Right.
I enjoy when I see officers interacting with people on the street, because I think that's ownership.
Yeah.
And so for me, that's what it's about, is really taking ownership of where we're headed. So yeah, I say do it. Sign up. Make the impact.
What was one of the biggest kind of changes or shocks for you in promoting? Was it pretty much how you expected it would be, or was it completely different than what you thought?
It was similar. It's really like you don't really get it with the promotion from officer to detective, because you're doing similar work, but really the promotion to a supervisor. You think about it a lot, but it is a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of expectations, as there should be.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was that idea of those responsibilities now being on my shoulders, which I signed up for.
Right.
But you don't really understand them until you experience them.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
One thing that you said to me last year when I think we were up there is when you were in charge of ACE, or one of the supervisors in charge of ACE, is that you said that you have a rule for yourself. You will go miss one testing cycle, and then that's when you'll decide, hey, if am I ready to leave or not? And I think that's dope, because that's essentially 2 full years that you have in that position, and you can do a lot in that time, and experience a lot. So
especially right now, I mean, I've moved I've changed jobs twice this year.
Yeah.
So really 3 times if you count ACE, when I did that temporary stretch on ACE. So that's the great thing about an agency our size, is you have the opportunity to move around and experience different things.
Yeah.
And I've enjoyed it, and I do think it's important to learn your role. And I'm learning that right now. Is sometimes it's really important to take a step back and say, okay, how can I get better at what I'm doing right now? Before you move forward.
Yeah.
So what's your goal moving forward then? Long-term?
You're going to say this is a political answer probably, but my goal has always been to do the best job at the job I have today.
Yeah.
Do the best I can for the people who work for me. Do the best I can for the people I work for. At the end of the day, we all work for the community.
Yeah.
And so we need to do the best job we can for the community and make the best decisions we can.
Yeah.
And so that's really my goal.
Yeah.
Like my overarching goal.
Yeah.
Right.
Career-wise, I have no idea. I've been on the department 10 years. If I stay for an entire career, that's another 25, 26 years. That's a long time.
Right.
So we'll see.
So you just kind of, because I kind of just stay where I'm at as long as I'm good with it.
Yeah.
And if I decide I don't want to do it anymore, I find something else. Is that kind of what your kind of mentality is when you're in a spot, or you want to see something finished before you move on to something else? Or?
Yeah, I think my mentality really is just, am I having the impact that I want to have?
Yeah.
Because to me, it's all about the interaction and the impact on the community. Am I providing a service to the community, and am I doing it well?
Yeah.
And I think it takes a lot of introspection sometimes to look at yourself and say, is this where I'm supposed to be?
Right.
I've had a lot of those discussions with leaders on this department about myself. Is where am I? Where do I fit in? And, and I think that's another generational thing. Is with the younger generation like us, they say, what, you're going to have 7 different employers in your lifetime?
Yeah.
People our age. Whereas people our parents' age, that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I look at it here with the opportunity to move around as being sort of fulfilling that for me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm doing something different. And as long as I'm feeling like I'm having an impact, a positive impact, then I know I'm in the right place.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Very well worded.
Well, your team's doing amazing up there, man. I think we post a lot about some of the gang felony assault type crimes and stuff that people, officers, detectives are capturing these people and getting them the justice that for the victims and stuff. So your team's doing an amazing job, and obviously that points towards the leadership that they have. So
they work hard.
Yeah.
All of the guys, all of the folks that work for me work hard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've got juvenile intervention unit works for me.
Yeah.
And they work their tails off.
Yeah.
So it's important. I think, you know, the community forum the other day with Lieutenant Beard, that's my boss.
Yeah.
Where they talked about some of the statistics and those are important. But I think really the overarching goal is to get the community involved.
Yeah.
And keep the community involved and engaged in moving forward together.
Yes. So. Yeah. And that's one of the many ways we try to branch out. There's always something different. Social media is the way of the world now.
It is.
Any way we could push something out, man, just let us know.
Yeah.
And you guys are doing an amazing job up there.
Cool. Thanks.
Again, I know you're busy, but we're going to get a refill, and we'll be right back.
All right.
That be Sergeant Moses of the Gang Felony Assault Unit. And I'm going to talk like a pirate for the rest of the show.
Are you?
Arr.
Oh, okay.
Arr,
Okay.
It's National Pirate Talking Day.
I bet you could not interview anybody on the streets like that.
Arr, I could interview a mouse if I needed to.
Yeah.
Or a bilge rat.
We're going to make a Facebook post, man.
We need to do a Facebook post.
We need to
I already dropped that. That's too hard to keep up.
It was too hard, man. But that was Sergeant Aaron Moses, man. Real good dude.
He's a good dude.
A
lot of insightful comments.
Yeah.
About his work. So I appreciate that. I appreciate
really
him taking the time out.
Kind of guy too, man. Like thinking big picture and everything. 31 years old. It's still young.
Yeah. I'm a little disappointed he's not a movie guy.
Yeah.
And we didn't even get into the Star Wars thing.
No, it was because he doesn't. He knows. He knows.
He's seen it, though.
He saw it years ago.
He's not
and he
a movie
like
guy,
it.
Chad, and he's seen Star Wars.
Right. Well,
what excuse do you
What did I
have?
tell you? I've seen it and didn't like it. That's it. You know?
I'm starting not to like you.
I've never liked you.
I'm
How
getting
about
a new
that?
co-host. You're walking the plank.
Right? No, I'm not walking the plank.
Okay.
So, but yeah, man. 10 years on the department, man. Sergeant already. To spend 7 years on the streets, though, that's awesome. You know, a lot of guys aren't doing that no more. Some people are doing just 2 to 3 and then moving on to the next thing. And
I don't know anybody who does that.
Yeah, I did that.
No,
but
I did that.
Did you do too?
Yeah.
You sure?
I did too.
No. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, just drink your coffee, Chad. Don't worry about.
I was letting you take the transition.
I didn't have anything to say there.
You didn't have nothing?
No, I said my piece. It was really good having Sergeant Moses on here.
Yeah.
And getting to ask him some questions. And speaking of questions,
we
need your questions.
I thought you were gonna tell me we had one, man.
To answer on the podcast. No, we don't have any questions.
Yeah.
We love getting questions from the community, feedback, questions, comments, concerns. You can email us. tmacy@wichita.gov or cditch@wichita.gov or policeweb@wichita.gov. We'll feature your questions on the podcast, get them answered for you. If you have any suggestions for things you want to see on the podcast, anything that you think we should discuss.
Speaking of suggestions, we just had our town hall reference violent crime.
Right.
Juan had set that up, and with Lieutenant Beard and a whole bunch of other panelists. Juvenile intervention unit was on there. We had it over there near 10th and Madison, man. It was a great turnout, man. Council member Brandon Johnson was there. And I think 20, maybe 30 people showed up.
Wow.
It was pretty good for a violent crime town hall.
Right.
And so, you know, when we have these, we always want the community's input. We always want to know, you know, what are some things that you would like to see from the police department? What are some things that we could do better? And what are some things that you're enjoying, obviously?
Yeah.
So I loved it, man. It was a great turnout. Lots of people talked. Had some great presentations. Juvenile Intervention Unit made a great presentation. So it's pretty dope, man. Pretty dope. We have guests on here all the time, and we ask them questions and stuff, right? So what's some things that you've seen with policing? I'm taking a college course right now, so I think this is where I'm going with it when I'm talking like this. From when you started, or maybe from when you were a kid to now, like how things have transitioned.
It's an interesting question. I think it's much more, I think, in the public eye as far as what we do.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, policing's always been something that's got a lot of attention.
Right.
But I think there's a more detailed attention, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
As to like our processes and why we do things a certain way. Because I think when I was growing up, it was just like, it was just like cops do these things, and that's the way it is. But now there's more like, well, why do we do these things, and how can we do these things better?
Yeah.
I think. And so I think we're in an interesting time all across America.
Yeah.
When kind of policing is being looked at through a more critical lens.
Yeah.
And people are saying, how can this be improved?
Yeah. We go a lot of places as PIO officers and stuff. We want to make sure that PIO officers, that's the O is officer, sorry.
That's like hot team or ATM
right.
machine.
Yeah. So we go a lot of places as far as a public information unit to be able to highlight, showcase everything that the department does. And, we go some places, or sometimes people know that I'm an officer, and you'll find older people that might tell you, man, I really couldn't do your job that you do today with the cameras everywhere. People always bringing you down, but I don't feel that way, man, at all. Like, this community here in Wichita really supports law enforcement. But I think there's no better time to be a cop than right now. Yeah. You have the prime opportunity to affect change just by stepping outside your car and having a conversation with people, right? Yeah. Just by showing up at a get together and just having a conversation and stuff. So to the people that think that this is a bad time, or for people that are on the fence of, man, I really would like to be a law enforcement officer, but this and this, man, it's amazing. I mean, I've been doing this now for 7 years. I was on the streets and working patrol and community response teams and CP stuff all prior to that, and there's not a day that goes by that I don't regret that stuff. You know what I mean? So if you're willing to and wanting to do this job, man, just come out here. WichitaJobs.com. No.
WPD.
WPDjobs.com.
Or just go to WichitaPolice.com. There's a link on there. But yeah, I mean, you said it better than I could. I mean, this is a great career. There's great opportunities here, and you have an opportunity to make change and to be the person that you want to be, honestly.
And if you don't like it, that's what we talked about with Moses, is that we have, shift bids, or you can change every time a new recruit class comes out, and we have 2 a year mostly. And you could put in to change your position, or not position, but change your schedule or bureau. Once you get 2 years on and stuff, you can put in for any kind of specialty unit and stuff. And
because that's the thing too, like even just within patrol, like it's the same type of job description. Yeah. But it varies so much depending on which bureau you're in, what shift you're on. Like that depends what you're going to be doing with your day. So there's really, I think this department, you can find a spot for anybody that will enjoy that. Like any spot on this department, there's somebody made for that. Yeah. And so it's really cool when you find that spot that you really fit. Yeah. I've loved my time with the department. So. Right.
And I'm looking forward to, like I said, and I'm sure you are too, many more years. A lot of exciting things coming up in our future. Got a new interim chief coming in next month or next week. Yeah. So
it's gonna be a lot of stuff coming up the last part of this year.
Yeah. So. It's gonna be fun, man. And I can't wait for cooler weather.
Yeah. As always, please make sure you're following our Facebook, social media, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We post a lot on there, so that's where you're going to get all your latest news, your latest updates on what's happening here with the department, if you're curious. Yeah. And until next week, we'll see you here on Coffee Break.
Peace.